Hello students, today we are going to start with a chapter Coal and Petroleum, and we will be discussing the topic petroleum. Petroleum. The word petroleum has been derived from the word petra, which it came from a Latin word. Petra means rock, and oleum means oil. Okay, rock, and oleum means oil. So that's why petroleum is called rock oil or crude oil. What it is called? Crude oil. You know, this petroleum or the products of petroleum are petrol and diesel, and they are very much used by our vehicles for running, or as used for by their we use the energy of petroleum and diesels to run our vehicles. Now, it is a natural occurring flammable liquid found in deep inside the earth's crust, and it is a complex mixture of hydrocarbon and other useful organic compounds. So the proportion of hydrocarbon is highly volatile and highly variable, and ranges as much as from 97% of weight in the lighter oils to 50% in the heavier oils. So this is a variable composition and proportions are there. You know, this crude oil or this petroleum was first discovered in 1875 by David Beatty in Warren, Pennsylvania, and this leads to the opening of Bradford oil field, and which produces by 1880s about this world 77% of the global oil supply. So this was the person who discovered this crude oil. Now we will be discussing the formation of petroleum. Formation of petroleum. You know, in ancient times, our earth was mostly covered by sea and oceans and these type of thing. So there were many tiny sea animals were there, and plants lived in that. As they died, they sank on the bottom of the sea. And what happens at the bottom of the sea? They accumulate, and sand, silt, and layers of soil, sand, silt were accumulated. Okay, and this created the deposit or fossils of tiny sea animals and plants. And what happened? With this immense weight and pressure of the sea and the sand leads to the creation of petroleum. Okay, now what happens? This marine plants, with millions of years, this marine plants and animal matter decomposed in the absence of air and under high pressure and under high temperature. The temperature is around 200 degrees Celsius. This much high pressure or temperature was there, and it leads to the creation of the formation of petroleum and natural gas. You know, this petroleum is found in porous rocks. What happens? These are reservoirs. There is oil, that is petroleum, then there is gas, and then there is water. As this oil is lighter than water, there is water. This oil get deposited here, and as gas is also lighter than gas, oil से भी ज़्यादा lighter है, तो यहाँ पे आपको gas मिलती है. So here it is oil and it is gas, and we dig this porous rock are drilled by oil rigs. By how? Oil rigs के through हम इन्हें dig करते हैं. Okay, so this is how we used oil rigs. So this is how the formation of coal is done, or it is used by us. Okay, and it is gushes out, but like if a simple point is made, this oil rushes out, मतलब बहुत जल्दी से बहुत हाई प्रेशर लिए बाहर आता है और फिर हम इसे कलेक्ट करते हैं और फिर आगे इसकी प्रोसेसिंग करते हैं जिससे हम इसे अलग अलग टाइप के लिए यूज़ कर सकते हैं. बच्चे यू कैन सी द फॉर्मेशन. There is an image given in your book about the petroleum and natural gas formation, that how ocean around 300-400 million years ago, that tiny sea plants and animals died and buried in the ocean floor. Once time they covered with the layers of silt and sand. Then this remains of plants and animal, under very intense high temperature and pressure, they converted into oil and gas. Now we today can dig this oil and gas deposit with the help of oil rig. Okay. Next is an activity given of fractional distillation. Why the activity is given of fractional distillation? As coal was processed by destructive distillation, petroleum is processed by fractional distillations, and it is called refining of petroleum. Okay, so this activity is given where the process of fractional distillation is explained. So next heading is refining of petroleum. Petroleum also produces different types of products like coal, like we have coke, coal tar, coal gas, ammoniacal liquor. Here also petroleum produces different types of gases. Okay, this raw crude oil that is obtained from the earth is very little of use. So it is refined, and from that we gain various different type of useful product. Okay, and these useful products are used for different types of works. Okay, bacha. So now, this crude oil is a mixture of hydrocarbon and other small quantities of material like, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, sulfur, and many other salts, and also water is also there. So at first, all these materials like oxygen, nitrogen, sulfur, and water are removed. And then this hydrocarbons, every hydrocarbons boil at a certain temperature, that is called boiling point. So we use this trick of different boiling point, and we use the method of distillation. Distillation is a process of simultaneously evaporation and condensation of liquid. So fractional distillation is used to separate, because this crude oil, all the different byproducts are mixed together, that is they are miscible liquid. And बच्चों miscible liquid को separate करने के लिए we use fractional distillation. Okay, so we use fractional distillation. Now, okay, so let's start. What happens? We use, that is, these separate miscible liquid are heated up, and these separate parts have different boiling points, and we keep them in a very designed tower, and this tower is called fractionating tower or fractionating column. Okay, and this column works continuously with heated crude oil piped at the bottom, and at different level there's different products taken out, as you can see in the image given in your books of the fractional distillation of crude oil. The first we will discuss all the chemicals and fuels obtained from crude oil. You can see that bitumen is obtained for roads, lubricating oil is used, see the temperature at 25 degrees Celsius. The first thing you will be obtaining is petroleum gas. जो आप अपने घरों में cylinders होते हैं बच्चा, that is LPG cylinders लिखे हुए होते हैं. So that petroleum gas is obtained from here. Next we obtain gasoline. हमारे vehicles में जो हम petrol use करते हैं, और gasoline that is obtained at a temperature of 25 degrees Celsius to 60 degree Celsius. The next is when the temperature reaches to 60 and 180 degrees Celsius, we get naphtha and it is used in chemical industries. Next is used the temperature when reaches 180 to 200 degrees Celsius, we get paraffin. This is a wax, okay? It is used in cosmetics and like for lipsticks, your Vaselines are made from paraffins. Next, 220 degrees Celsius or 250 degrees Celsius, we get diesel, which is used in our trucks, okay? Your trucks are mostly used, or many cars are also there, which use diesel as a fuel. Next, we get fuel oil, and this fuel oil is used by our ships, your cruises, your ships and all. And the temperature is 250 degree Celsius to 300 degree Celsius. Next, when the temperature is more than 300 to 350 degrees Celsius, lubricating oils are produced. And last, when the temperature is higher than 350 degree Celsius, we get crude oils, furnaces are done, that is electricity is produced by them. And then bitumen is also produced for making our roads. So this is fractional distillation of crude oil. Now we will be discussing all the chemicals obtained from crude oil. The first is petroleum gas. This is liquefied petroleum gases are used because they are liquefied and filled in cylinders and used as a fuel in vehicles and to make other petrochemical products also. Next is kerosene. It is also used for cooking and lighting lamps. It has a, this high quality kerosene is also used as aviation fuel. That is, it is used in jet aircrafts. So this is one of the byproduct of crude oil or petroleum. There is a difference between petroleum and petrol. Petroleum is crude oil and petrol is gasoline. Now, next is gasoline. It is used in vehicles and aircraft, and it is also used as a solvent for dry cleaning. आपकी dry cleaning में अगर आप कोई कपड़े भेज रहे हैं, so petroleum is used there for cleaning your clothes also. Okay, diesel, it is used to run heavy vehicles like buses, trucks, railways. These use diesels. Okay, now fuel oil. This fuel oil is used in furnaces and boilers in industries, and it leaves no residue. Like we have no problem for environment in this fuel oil. Next is lubricating oils. Your heavy machineries, they require lubrication. That is, they require some okay, suppose you are wearing a bangle. Suppose I am wearing a bangle, your mother wearing a bangle. So what happens? She will apply some type of gel or some type of cream on her hand so that that bangle can go easily in her hand. So that's how machines also require lubrication so that they can work easily. So lubrication means this. Lubricating oils are used in heavy machineries. Then paraffin wax, that is used to make candles, wax paper, cosmetics like lipsticks, Vaseline, ointments, all these are made from paraffin wax. Asphalt, this is a black and sticky substance, and it is, it does not vaporize, and it is used to make paints and road surfaces. Last is petrochemicals. The petroleum gas जो हमने पहले obtain की थी सबसे पहले, it is used to make many organic products such as methyl alcohol, ethyl alcohol, ethylene, benzene, DDT. It is a fertilizer, okay? And this petroleum gas is also, this petroleum oil is also used to synthesize fibers. मैंने आपको बताया था synthetic fiber हम petroleum से बना सकते हैं. So synthetic fibers बनते हैं, synthetic rubber बनते हैं, perfumes बनते हैं, fertilizers, explosives, dyes सब बनते हैं, okay? Now, next is distribution of petroleum. Middle East, Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Iran and Iraq have about 70% of the world petroleum reserve. Libya, Russia, China and United Arab Emirates, Venezuela, United States, that is United States of America, Mexico, Canada, Norway, Brazil to have a large oil reserves. Okay. In India, oil is found, that is crude oil is found in Assam, Gujarat and Arabian Sea of the coast of Mumbai. Okay, in the coast of Mumbai, this Arabian Sea is there. Arabian Sea is there, and there we can find the oil reserves. And also in the river basins of Godavari and Krishna river. So coal we get on land, petroleum is mostly related to nearby seas and oceans. Next, we will be learning about this liquefied petroleum gases that is used in our LPG cylinders, okay? So the next heading is LPG, liquefied petroleum gas. So, by applying the petroleum gas that we have obtained, जब हम इस पर pressure put करते हैं and then we just contain it or store it in a container under pressure, then this liquefied petroleum gas is formed. It is used as domestic purposes also, for industrial purposes also. Okay, so this LPG is very highly volatile gas, and it is when we just when we change this liquid, when आपके घर पे जब cylinder आता है, try to move that cylinder, you will be seeing that there is liquid in it. But when you on your gas, the gas comes out. How it is? When you ignite your burners of the stoves, the gas comes out. How? Because it gets easily transferred from liquid to gaseous state. Okay, so it is highly combustible, very volatile, and catches fire very much easily. To avoid any harm, students, suppose a cylinder is there and it is leaking and it may catch fire very easily. A single spark can cause a very large fire. So what happens? A substance is added, and the substance is ethyl mercaptan. And this ethyl mercaptan has a very आपके घर में कभी गैस लीक होता है तो माँ बोलते हैं ना स्मेल आ रही है, वो गैस की स्मेल नहीं होती बच्चा, वो स्मेल इसकी होती है इथाइल मर्कापेटन की, जिससे कि आपको पता चल जाए कि गैस लीक हो रही है एंड यू डू नॉट बर्न एनीथिंग और पुट एन स्पार्क देयर, सो जिससे कि आप प्रोटेक्ट रहें और कोई भी अनहोली और ऐसा कोई इंसिडेंट नहीं अकर कर पाए. सो इट्स अ नेचुरल stench or smell of ethyl mercaptan. Now the advantages and disadvantages of using petroleum. Petroleum is very much relatively abundantly available and has high energy density. That is, give high energy. And it can be also transported very easily, and it produces no waste. It is one of the most important source of energy till 1950s. Okay, and now it is useful for very many other industries also. It is used to make fertilizers, synthetic fibers, explosives, dyes. So it is used for various purposes. When pharmaceuticals, आपकी medicines जो industries बनाती हैं उन्हें pharmaceuticals कहते हैं. They also use petroleum products, the various byproducts of petroleum. But what are the disadvantages? As petroleum is a non-renewable resources, it can exhaust any moment of time. In another 50 years, it may exhaust completely from our earth, and it will create to global energy crisis. And also petroleum fuels are not eco-friendly, that is, they are not environmental friendly and pollute our environment and leads to global warming. The next is natural gas. This is the product that is obtained along with our crude oil or petroleum. Let me write down the heading. Natural gas. Okay, this natural gas is also fossil fuel and is found along with crude oil. It is formed by the slow decomposition of fossil, and it consists of methane. Mostly the chemical compound it is of methane. And it is transported through underlying pipes and all this. And how this natural gas is stored? It is compressed. What is compressed? Under pressure, हम इस गैस को एक कंटेनर में प्रेशर लगा के स्टोर कर देते हैं. And this is how our CNGs are formed. CNG, compressed natural gas. And DTT buses in Delhi has been switched over to CNGs. So it also occurs in larger amount as compared to oil and or coal. So the next we will be discussing about the uses of natural gases. As it burns readily to produce lot of heat, it can be used without any treatment also. So CNG is used in industrial and domestic fuels. It is also used as a fuel in automobiles. It is used as a fuel in a combination for aviation fuel, that is in our jets and aeroplanes. Okay, it is also used as a source of hydrogen and used in a fertilizer industries. And it is used as a raw material for the synthesis of very large number of chemicals. Okay, ये raw material की तरह use करते हैं जिससे हम different types of chemical products develop कर सकते हैं. Let's talk about the distribution in the world. The world's largest gas reserves are located in Russia. Okay, the world's largest natural gas producer is also Russia. India too has very vast reserves of natural gas. It's in Tirupura, Rajasthan, Maharashtra and Krishna Godavari Delta. So here we can find this natural gas reserves are there. Now there's a fact site given about this methane gas. You know, this methane gas is produced naturally in wetlands where oxygen concentration is very low. Okay, and a group of microorganisms called methogens. What they are called? Methogens. This produces this methane gas as they respire carbon dioxide to drive energy. So that's how methane gas is used, and this methane gas can be useful for can be used as a fuel also. Now, care for natural resources. The next heading is care for natural resources. As these natural resources are very much non-renewable, we should take proper care for them so that they do not get exhaust very soon. Okay, so we should take proper care of this. So how we can take care of these natural resources, we will be studying. Coal and petroleum meet 75% of our energy needs, and they are exhaustible and are getting depleted very fast. So as they release very high amount of carbon dioxide and other harmful gases, it is also polluting our environment also, which is leading to the problem of global warming. So that's why we should, along with this use of this petroleum and coal, we should try to find some alternative methods of energy also. So, and there have been work going on. इस पे बहुत काम हो रहा है बच्चा कि हम अलग अलग resources find करें जिससे हम energy ले सकें. So this for the conservation of this fuel, the government organization PCRA, that is Petroleum Conservation Research Association, has laid down certain measures to keep a check on the excessive use of this natural fuels. And these measures are as follows, that is, our car consumes lot of petrol. So carpooling should need to be done. That is, suppose आप स्कूल जा रहे हैं बच्चा and आपके फ्रेंड आपके घर की पास ही रहते हैं. So one day आपके पापा आप दोनों को छोड़ दे, एक दिन आप दोनों आपके पापा छोड़ दे, एक बार उसके पापा छोड़ दे, एक बार आपके पापा छोड़ दे. And not only two, you can in a car you can come 4 to 5 girls, or 4 to 5 your classmates can come, or your schoolmates can come, so they can go together. So petroleum will be safe. So carpooling should be utilized. Use of public vehicles should be used. You can use cleaner fuels like CNG because they do not produce any harmful gases. Okay, and your vehicles that you are using for should be properly and timely. आपको timely आपको है ना shops पे भेजना चाहिए जिससे कि उनकी ट्यूनिंग और चेकअप्स होते रहे, जिससे कि वो कोई भी हार्मफुल गैसेस नहीं प्रोड्यूस करें. Or alternative resources like energy, solar energy, okay, should be used, or wind energy should be used for driving energy from them. Electricity can also be produced from using solar and wind. Okay. Short distance can be traveled by bicycle, or you can go by foot only. Okay. We should not waste energy. Suppose you are not using, and you are in a room and you have to go there for a 5 minutes or 10 minutes. You should have a practice of switching on the lights, switching off the lights or fans. Okay. That's how we can conserve our energy resources. Now we will be discussing all the questions related or the exercise related to this chapter.